Okay, everyone, welcome back. This is my review for The Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 2, which is called Sick. If you didn't see Episode 1, I'll put a review annotation probably up in the top left, maybe, and for Episode 3, a top one, and maybe the top right. We'll see. Don't hold me to that. We'll see. Okay, so where we left off, they cleared out the prison, and they found some new survivors, and Herschel's leg got cut off, basically. And we didn't get to see anything from Andrea or Michonne this episode, except for if you saw the preview for next episode 3, then they will be in it. It looks like they might actually take the predominant spot of that episode, if not almost all of it, which will be good, because I'm interested to see the whole governor aspect in this little world they've created there. Let's get right into it here. If this is going to contain spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, go watch it, and then come back here. I don't think we even need to repeat that because that's pretty obvious. Okay, I didn't mention last time, but I really do love the new. It's got the same music, but the intro, I really like how the new pictures. And the mood it sets is so good. I really do like it. How to get that off the top? Next. We start off with them right after the end of episode 1 with them finding the new survivors, and immediately they're like, we got to get out of here and get Herschel back to our cell block. And T-Dog is continuing to climb the power rankings as he got a sick uppercut stab on one of the zombies. I think the zombie was actually wearing a SWAT outfit like we saw in episode 1. So T-Dog's beasting. We got the new whole survivors thing. Once they got Herschel back and settled out, they went and talked to the new survivors. Actually, no, the new survivors followed them, I think. So that was interesting. The new survivors, what I think of, there's 4 of them, I think, or 5 of them maybe. There's an older white guy, I think 3 black guys, 1 really big black guy, and a medium-sized and a small black guy, and then an Italian-looking guy who's not actually Italian. He looks kind of Mexican too or something. But I like them kind of. They're the interesting part about them is that they didn't know about this whole outbreak. They have been locked in the cafeteria for, forget how many days they said. I think it was like 199 days or something, or 10 months. So that's probably about 199 days right there. So they've been there the whole time, and they don't understand like the whole hitting them in the head thing, which we'll get to later, and infection and all those things like that. They've heard words of, cannibalism and stuff, which I think that's the first time we've had cannibalism mentioned in the TV series as a way of describing what's going on. Let's keep it moving here because we don't want to keep it too long. Last time we went 20 minutes. But there's so much to cover. This was a good episode. Okay, next we got so they made a deal with the survivors. They'll help them clear the block for food. I don't know. I don't like all his tension that he builds with, Daryl is just as bad at it too, and just being really aggressive and saying, go away, or we'll kill you. Rick kind of sometimes comes along and says, oh yeah, let's be friends, or we can talk this out, and we'll come to a deal. Anyway, so they're gonna in exchange for food, they're going to get to clear the cell block. So kind of a trade-off there. I would have preferred, the whole episode I was thinking, I would have preferred them just to amalgamate the groups into one, which I know is easier in theory than it is in reality, but I hate to see this tension between humans in this post-apocalyptic world. I like to see everyone just kind of coming together and just trying to kill off as many of the bad zombies as you can to try and make a new world. Okay, let's get moving here. Herschel's leg continues to have issues. They're trying to fix that up. And I thought from the whole episode this guy was going to die. And it looked like he was going to die multiple times from just losing too much blood or the infection, which I actually forgot about. Because you forgot that he was actually bitten and it could have spread up his leg and into his torso and everything else. Glenn had a very cool scene there with Maggie as he was comforting her regarding Herschel's the fact he was in like a coma basically, and so that was actually a really nice little touchy scene there. Then Maggie goes soon after that and talks to Herschel, who's still in a coma, and I couldn't pay attention from the scene. This is one of those scenes where I couldn't pay attention to it because I was so concerned that Herschel was just gonna just quick reflex bite her like he got bitten. And I just couldn't pay attention to what was going on in that scene because I was so concerned that don't do it, Maggie. He's gonna bite you. Just keep your distance. Keep your best. Because I don't know. You gotta be safe in this world, and they're not taking enough precautions. So that's that. Check that off. Oh, my pen just broke. It was feeling a little weak. Okay. Then they take the new survivors on their killing sprees, and it was funny to see, but they didn't. I guess they did try and train them and teach them you got to hit the head, but like they were just punching the zombies in the stomach, and it wasn't doing anything. So that was interesting. It was funny. One of those funny moments in the episode. Probably in all reality, one of them probably should have got scratched there because they were just. I mean, they were way too close to the zombies for the zombies not to scratch them ever. Okay. Then we get Carl. Now, Carl is an interesting case here because he's the only child left in the crew. So he's trying to like over compensate for his childhood. Well, he's trying to do too much basically. I'm trying to make up words that I can't think of. He's trying to do too much, okay? And so he goes off and he goes off looking for meds in the infirmary, which they don't even know where that is. So he's just going off wandering through the halls. Like, this kid has guts, okay? I'll give him that. He's brave. But you can't be doing this. This is not safe. I do not support Carl's actions in this, and I especially don't respect his lack of respect for his mother. Or his father. Well, I don't know. His father and him haven't really had that much of a interaction yet. Too much, anyway. Except for in the first episode they talked about him coming with them or not. But, yeah, so he killed 2 zombies. He's definitely capable, but in this type of world, especially with a kid, you can't just have people going off on their own little missions, solo missions, without telling anyone. If you're going to go on a solo mission, you better at least tell them, oh, by the way, I'm going to go over here. I mean, obviously he wouldn't have been approved for this mission by himself, so he just wasn't going to ask. But it's in his own best interest to ask, because how stupid would it be if he just got bitten over there and they just found out like, oh, he didn't come back, and like Lori would probably commit suicide if that happened. So as they continue to slash and mash their way through with the zombies, the new group, the black guy breaks the rules. So many people breaking rules in this episode. Breaks the rules and breaks formation, and gets scratched in his back. I thought it was his shoulder and upper arm, but it was actually his back. So he's infected. I'm trying to remember if we've ever seen. Okay, no, that's true. We have seen people get. Have we seen people get scratched in this TV series before? I'm not sure we have. I know that Beth has a sister that died in I think it was season 1, because she got bit in her abdomen region. I think it was her, or maybe it was another guy. But they've had some bite victims, but I'm not sure if they had scratch victims. So I was even on the fence. I was like, oh, but what if he survives? I don't know. But anyway, that we didn't get to find out. I don't think he was going to survive. But it was just, I don't think the new survivors received adequate training for the tasks that they were assigned to. They should have been given a complete overhaul of the situation in the last 10 months and bring them up to speed. Anyway, so the big black guy, this is a bad loss because he was a big guy, and he could have been really useful to them, but the Italian guy just goes nuts and just not only does he kill him, but he just mashes his head in. So that was pretty messed up. And at that point, you're like, Rick and Daryl and the audience probably was like, this man's crazy, like he's not even stable. So keep an eye on him. Over 10 minutes now. Let's keep it rolling here, guys. Next thing was Carol is going to start practicing basically a C-section on a zombie. And this is another solo mission that was not authorized by the higher ups like Rick or Daryl or Lori or anyone. It was just she went up to Glenn and was like, "Can we do this?" And he's like, "Oh, I guess so." So right from the start, I haven't liked any of these little going off by myself and doing these stupid things out in the open or in the dark. So I didn't like that. It's pretty gross too. I'm glad they didn't show that. Like, just that's just nasty. I was getting all quivery there about Carol cutting into that zombie. So that was interesting. We'll get into more specifics later on that at the end. Man, yeah, things just went downhill here. The Italian guy threw a zombie at Rick, hoping that I guess the zombie would take out Rick. And then I guess presumably he would be able to just amalgamate their groups together without Rick. Because you can't have two leaders in one group. It just doesn't work, as you see in the Walking Dead video game from the first 2 episodes. Or 2.5, I should say. So they do that whole awesome clearing thing there, but I hated this part so much. This is the part I didn't like. Like, I really liked that athletic black guy, but Rick, I guess, I don't know, he just ran down the jail hallways and Rick ran after him. Rick's a bad man. And he just chased him out into the little fenced-in area, and there was a bunch of zombies there, and then they both realized there were zombies there, and Rick just locked him in there with the zombies and listened to him get eaten to death. Like, Rick's oh my goodness, like, I really did not support that decision. Like, I'm still upset by it. That's just I thought that black guy could have been really useful to the group. He really could have been, but now he's gone, and so they started with, 5 guys, and they end up only with having 2 guys left now. Because the Italian guy... oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the Italian guy. Rick just axes him in the forehead. He's like, just kills him. So Rick's already knocked off 2 guys from that survivor group, and then the black guy was killed by his own survivors. The big black guy. Yeah, so this whole time I'm just wishing they would amalgamate their groups, especially once the Italian leader died, because I can see why you wouldn't want him in the group, because he's a little off the wall. But the rest of them seemed pretty confident, especially the white guy. Not to discredit the black people, but the white guy just seemed like a genuinely trustable person. The remaining black person, who's kind of the middle-sized one of them all, still a pretty hefty guy though. He seems useful, but he's a little more skeptical of the whole thing, and kind of like Daryl, a little more quiet maybe. But I really like the new guy there, the white guy. Lori's CPR was stupid. I don't even know what happened with the CPR. She performed CPR on Herschel, and then, like, as she was giving him mouth to mouth, he like reached, like, it was it was either a hug, which doesn't make any sense because he's in a coma, or a zombie attack grab. And I don't understand what happened. I think it was a zombie grab, but if you're zombified, you can't come back to being not zombie. So I really don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what that was. Post in the comments what that was, because I'm confused on that situation. And that I didn't like that as well. Same thing with the Maggie situation. She got too close, and I was worried for Lori's safety the whole time. And then when she got grabbed or hugged, I was like, I saw that one coming, What were you thinking? Coming to the end here, actually, guys. This is good. Thanks for watching if you've made it this far. And so there's only 2 survivors left, which I mentioned, and they left them in the other block, which is too bad, because I would like to see that white guy in particular is just so trustworthy. The black guy, I think, will be trustworthy too. He's just more of the, he'll just take some time to be acquainted with the group. But they need to, I really think they need to amalgamate those 2 groups, because they're just adding 2 people. Why would 2 people have half the food compared to the 8 people in Rick's group only having half the food? Have all the food and you get more food and you get more people to kill with. Okay, moving on from that. Yeah, so as we mentioned before, I really thought Herschel was going to die. Somehow he survived. So he beat 2 things in that instance. He not only beat the amputation blood loss, but he also beat the infection, meaning the infection takes at least, I don't know, 5 minutes to spread, maybe more than 2 minutes to spread anyway. So from your limb to your torso, and once it's in your torso, you're gone. Like the big black guy got in his back, so he was done right from the start. So that proves that the amputation theory, which we talked about, I think, in the last episode, it does work. I kind of thought it would work. I've always believed it would work to cut off your limb. And so that was interesting, because that's always one of the big themes in zombie movies. You always see people getting bit on arms, and so it works. So that's kind of one positive outcome, or positive not positive outcome, a solution. It's a solution, or a cure almost, for the infection if you get bit on a limb, is to dismember it. Lori's getting really large. She had an interesting talk with Rick at the very end there, and the divorce and splitting assets comment was pretty funny. I thought that was well done. Their relationship's very complicated. I wish it would just be less complicated and just be, okay, we can be friends now. I understand that you slept with Shane. Whatever, it happened. Who cares? Like, he's dead. It's the end of the world. Like, I think Rick should be a little more understanding of that. He's being a bit of a jerk. And the last thing we've got to talk about here is the spying on Carol thing. So as Carol's doing her little medical C-section practice on the zombie out by the gates there, not the gates, the fences, the fenced-in area, someone's spying on her. Now, I'm almost certain that's a human person, not a zombie. Like 100% sure it's a human. The question is, who is it, and why are they spying on her? Now, I think if I had to guess, I would say it's got to be it's got to be another surviving unit from the prison. That's the only outcome it could be. It can't be any of the 2 survivors that are left, I don't think. I guess it could be, but I don't think it is. And it's not Governor, because Governor, as you see in the previews, doesn't know about this prison and doesn't know where Rick's group is, because they're interrogating Andrea and Michonne, who I'm really looking forward to seeing them go into the 3rd episode together and see what that's all about, because the Governor guy looks really cool. Looks like a cool character, cool cat. Okay, guys, so that's it for episode 2 review. I think that's all I gotta say. If you have any questions, comments, predictions, do you have any predictions to make? Well, Herschel is gonna have problems with his leg. We're gonna find out about this Carol thing, hopefully. I mean, I don't have any predictions to make. No, I hope that we get to see some more of the those 2 survivors, but I don't know. We don't know. Okay, guys, so that's it. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.